There's something that always kind of overwhelms me when I read the Jeremiah. I guess overwhelms me sounds kind of a little too dramatic. I just read Jeremiah 2, and I read it with intensity, and I believe the Lord's given me intensity to read, and I hear, and I better understand than I ever have reading out loud. Now, this is like the second or third time I think that I've read out loud Jeremiah. But the thing is, I want to know what your opinion is too. So if you want to write in the comments section down below. You know, the Lord, I've said this before, the Lord doesn't have to speak tough. The Lord just has to say it. Because when the Lord says it, it comes to pass. Just as we read in Isaiah. It shall accomplish the thing whereto I sent it. You know, Isaiah 55:11. But when, you know, the Lord's voice is like the voice of many waters, which in one of these chapters we'll see that in one of the very first few chapters here of Jeremiah, maybe 5. That's a very calming sound. But it can also be a very destructive thing. You know, like I mentioned, I made a video sometime back about the tsunami of 2005 that took Thailand. And if you can find that video on YouTube, it's kind of dramatic. You see I used some footage from a video on YouTube where you see some folks trying to get to a balcony on a hotel. There's such a weird contrast of things. I mean, just like 9/11, where there's a weird contrast. There was a beautiful day, and then this horrible thing happened. Same thing in Thailand. That tsunami came, and the beaches were all sunny and everything. People probably thought, hey, you know, nothing's bad. You know, the last thing in their minds is anything bad's going to happen. And then even when the water's rushing them about, and they're, you know, caught out in the middle of it, like some folks are trying to get to a balcony and probably kind of being very casual about it. Oh, these waters are just kind of flowing through the streets here. No big deal. I'll just go over to that balcony. A little casual, they maybe just kind of fell in the water. Figured, I'll float down a little ways, grab a hold of something else. As soon as they went in the water, they're basically dead. But it looked all so peaceful. You know, the waters were just flowing. They weren't gushing and splashing, and, you know, wasn't Hollywood effects there. Okay, so back to the talking of God, you know, and Jeremiah. Jeremiah was the one to carry the word of the Lord. He was the one passing along what God had told him to say. Like the beginning of the chapter it says, you know, say unto the children, go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, and then all that goes on from there. But then I think Jeremiah was a timid sort of fellow, very tender-hearted. I guess I'd say timid. The Lord told him, you know, well, the Lord gave him some confidence for it, didn't he? The end of chapter 1. They shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord. He said something about, he said, for behold, I have made thee this day a defenced city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. Why did he make him that way? And how? With his word. You speak these things, I guarantee, they'll fight you, but they won't prevail, because my word will beat them. And that's why he was given that. But Jeremiah was a tender-hearted guy. He was the guy that wrote Lamentations after the carrying away into Babylon. So just know that when I read this with intensity, I recognize it could be read very gently. It is still the word of the Lord, and it still has just as much power. So it really doesn't have any... My tough voice, the way I'm trying to read this, has no effect on its power. It is powerful no matter how it's read or heard. Jeremiah 3 coming up.